It's Tuesday and it's overcast. It's wonderful. Yesterday was the same thing. As far as the blue DRO tachometer, it's still in progress. It's not a high priority, so it's on the shelf for now. I had more fun playing with this CNC machine. So, I'm kind of thinking, what am I going to do with this thing? I primarily bought it because I'd like to do some printed circuit boards for one item. And you'll see the software that I'm using for CAD. There's a plugin called KiCad, K-I-C-A-D, which is supposed to do printed circuit boards. So I'll be going down that path. I also want to do engraving with it. It's successful doing that, so I got to figure out how to do that. But for this video, the first one, part one, was building it. Simple and easy. Part two was squaring it up and checking things and how to wire up limit switches, how to wire up the touch probe, and the touch probe does do side. So the software supports that, so I can find corners and edges. Also, the software does have a map capability, so because the table is all messed up, if I needed to have something machined flat or whatever you want to call it, it can probe a bunch of spots and create a map and compensate for how it's crooked. So this video is going to be the software. I'm going to take you from the CAD, what program I'm using, to CAM, Computer Automated Machining, what program I'm using to generate the G code, to the controller software. I think I showed a little bit of that, Universal G code control software, and then I'm actually going to machine a part of wood, but it's a pocket. And in the end of the video, you'll see the machining, but you'll see me hand draw a little 2-inch square. I was way off on that square. When the video was done, I took a ruler out and it put that pocket exactly where it was supposed to be. So, enjoy, guys. Okay, first of all, the machine has a control board on it where all the motors and wires connect to, and to control it, you need to run a program. It originally came with this GRBL controller, which is something you really don't have to install, called Candle. And I ran this, and it's really basic. You just have left, right movement, Z-axis up, down, and so on. But kept looking around at free software and discovered this. It's called, let me get rid of this for now because that's going to go in the trash. Universal G Code Sender, another free program. I am running the beta version of it, which I'm kind of excited about because they're in the process of developing it right now. So the software CD that came with the unit has a driver file on it in the software folder. Run the driver and it installs the USB to COM port converter or driver, whatever you want to call it. All I do is hit refresh here because sometimes this switches to 13 and then 12 and you just hit connect. And so I'm now connected to the unit. Now the board is running a microcontroller, and the microcontroller is running software called GRBL. And that, let me see, I have an alarm here, you just hit unlock. Now the GRBL controller is, or the program that it's running, interprets G code, which is another program that talks to the motors and says you need to go here and here and this is how fast and so on. But you need to set up your board first by doing $$ down here on the bottom, enter, and here's all the different things that you have to set up in your controller or GRBL program. It's things like step pulses, how many microseconds long they are, and a bunch of things you go through. A few things that I had to do, I left everything as it was, except I had to enable hard limits. So all you do is $21 equals 1, enter, and poof, it enables them. I also had to enable the homing capabilities, $22 equals 1, enter, and all of the soft limits. When the G-code runs, the G-code can actually tell an axis to move beyond its length or distance that it can. So you set up the limits, and they were all off. They were all at 800, and so I had to say, like, X. Where are they anyway? Where's the limit? There it is. X-axis limit is 800. Oh, they're all back to 800s. I had set those things. Travel resolution step. No. Maximum acceleration. There it is. Maximum travel. X-axis is 280. So if the G-code tries to tell the GRBL software, I want you to go 290, it'll stop the machine from hurting itself. Even if it tries to go and you didn't set this up, it's going to hit a limit and the whole thing will just freeze up and I'll get an alarm indication here. So once you programmed the control board to do what you want, you have basic control. This is what I was doing: left, right, table movements, z-axis movements. You can manually enter in whatever you want, like I want to move 100 thousandths, 0.1, and the speed that you want it to travel at, and you just say go, and boom, you can see the numbers changing here. It just went to 0.1. You can reset everything at the same time, or you can reset an individual axis here. And if you've got everything zeroed out and you're saying, okay, this is my 0 point, you can say return to 0. Wherever the head is, it'll go right back to its corner. Or so these all read 0. There's a home machine. A lot of this help thing tells you what all these buttons are, but there's a lot of modules. I forgot where the stuff is. Yeah, you can check for updates because they update it quite often. Someplace near plugins, workflow, whatever. There's a place where you can view plugins and download them, and I had to install the probe module here for my touch probe, and you go through the settings. Caution, leave this in millimeters. I changed it to inches, and it just does weird funky things and doesn't work. Even though this is set for inches here, when I leave this in millimeters and I say I want it to go down and touch this feed rates and retract 100 millimeters, if you convert millimeters to inches, say it converted to 900, you're going to see this read 900. The Z will read 900 inches or whatever when it's done. So it works. You just got to do a conversion. The inch section doesn't work. Console, not much else to talk. Oh, let me load up. The CD does come with some test code. I'll just load one of them. There's the actual G code. It's kind of awkward because you can modify it, but then you have to save the file and reopen it for it to take effect. So I wish they would allow you to modify it on the fly here. You can press the left mouse button, and see it in like 3D, kind of all the dimensions, everything here. You can hit play and you can watch it go, but also as you hit play, it's going to be doing this engraving too. Next up, after you've got all this under control, now you need a CAD, a computer automated design, and a CAM, computer automated machining program. I downloaded a bunch of them. This is GCAM, which is a real super simple one. File, new project, and you apply it, and you can tilt and just do basic things. It doesn't really do pockets and all this, but it will. You can do your design in here, CAD design, and then you can do your computer automated machining and generate the G code from it. But I kept continue without saving. Nice, you don't have to install it. So that was like the easiest one that I found. I decided to work with Freecad. Found this program, and it's pretty cool. I'm by no means a pro at it, and I've been working on it for weeks trying to figure out what to do. I cannot tell you how many hours it took to get to this level. Hours. And I'm having to come back and reshoot this whole thing because of it. Freecad, I'll put a link in the description to it, so if you want to download it and run it, you're welcome to. I am running the latest stable version. This is not the beta version that I originally started in. You want to start in part design. And you can say edit preferences. I don't think there was much that really changed in here other than changing the units to inch. They've got a bunch of them. U.S. customary inch pounds. I didn't do, all the other videos on YouTube, boy, they sure now tell you a lot of things. So, did I change anything in here? I don't think so. But go through all of it anyway to make sure. And you have to take your time and read and think about each one. I think if you hover on them, do they say notes? No. So there is a help section in here that you can get help with. So first thing I want to do is I'm in part design, and you need to create a new sheet. There it is, unnamed. If you want to change that name, took hours to figure out how to do it. You got to do file, save as, and then when you make the file a name and say save, then this changes automatically. So that was one. So first thing I want to do is, if I remember right, I want to make a sketch, and I want to do it in the XY plane. And I'm just going to make a basic cube that I'm going to use the machine on. This is for 2 points. I can close that. I messed up, right? Already. If I can double click on it. Sketch. There we are. So I want to make a 2-pointer in the sketch. This is your origin. If you start going this way, I'm just holding down the left mouse button. Negative. So you kind of want to go positive. And and you click for the second point, and I right click, and I'm out of the mode. The next thing you're going to want to do is, took a long time to figure out how to dimension. If you click here, you're just going to set this. If you click here, you're going to set this. If you click both axes, you're going to set both, and you say lock, and there's the dimensions. Also took hours to figure out how to just move things. Everybody's doing it in the video, but it took me forever. Hold down both mouse buttons at the same time, and you can drag things around. The wheel lets you scroll in and out. You can click on this, and I want a 2-inch box by a scroll down again, 2-inch. Alright, so now I've got a 2-inch box. Both buttons just to move it. So I've got my basic sketch done, and I'm going to move it again and shrink it down. Alright, so I've got a box, a sketch. What I want to do next is pad it, because I want to give it 3 dimensions. So select the box, right? No? I guess not. No, close. Alright, well, how did you select the box? Origin, sketch. Pad, what's going to happen? Alright, I want it to be a 1/2 inch thick. The other thing is the wheel on the mouse, push it in, and you can start to see live what you're doing here. This is a key part. I'll say this again. This is a key part. Took days to find this. when you're in path and your end mill is on the work, it's going to wind up on the bottom all the time. You want it to be on the top. Watch what happens when I click reverse. It moves down. Now the tool is going to be right here to do pocketing and facing rather than down here, because when it's down here and you do all the other stuff, say face, you flip it upside down, you see all your work is, all the movements are underneath. So that is a key part. Okay, so now I have a basic piece of wood, 2-inch, 2-inch, 1/2 inch thick, and I want to do another sketch. So you select a face and you say sketch, and it goes right there. I want to do another square. Click here and click here. Yeah, you gotta click again, and there it is. Right click, and I'm out of the mode. So now I have a sketch on the surface of it, and I can say select this sketch, and here's pocket, and there it is. So you can do it live. I want to say this pocket is 0.1 deep, and you can see it changes live. 100,000, yeah, 100,000 is pretty good. This you don't have to reverse. So there's the basic design that I wanted to work with to go over into sketch. So pretty cool. You can select any face, you can put holes in it, indents, circles. I've got a long ways to go with this, but I just wanted to basically get something underneath my belt. So from here I'll go into cut, because then I'll go into path and start to show how I'm just going to mill this out. So okay, so I'm in path, and up here all these workbenches. So the first thing you have to do is create a new job, which is this guy. I'm going to work on this body up here. So here's the job, and you can see where the origin is for the tool. It's now on the actual work. So what I want to do for this, I just want to say 0 here. 0, where are you there? Alright, so now you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, this is extra material for your stock. If you wanted to do facing or something like that, you have material to take away. Just for what I'm doing, I don't want any material on the top, so I'm saying 0 it out. My origin's set for the tool, so okay. Next thing you do is, I've already created tools here. You'll be adding them, and it's kind of easy to figure that stuff out, but there's a tool, create a new tool controller. Alright, so in the job, I now have a tool, and lo and behold, it's on top of the work. It used to be down here, and like I said, I messed with every number everywhere and could not get it on top 10. So you got to put in which feeds you want, 10, and I want the spindle at 500 RPM. Come on, 500, because I'm just going to do this in wood. So there it is. That's all set up forward and stuff. So okay, got a tool. Now let's see if I can remember how to do some of this stuff. I want to do a pocket. So I believe you select the face, and you come up here and you say create a pocket from the face, and you select the tool that you want to use if you have more than one. And when you hit apply is when everything shows up. So I can say I want this to be a spiral. Apply, and you can see the spiral. It's taking one massive depth cut. So depths, I can say step down. You click on this little guy and you say discard that, because it's coming from a different sheet. And I want to go down 0.01, 10,000ths at a time. Apply, and you'll see, boom, there's all the pieces. So it's simple as that. You can do facing operations All the other stuff's automatically filled in, which is nice. Heights. I used to be messing with all of them, but it doesn't look like you have to do anything. Step, oh yeah, over percent. I don't want to do full width on the cutter. Let me go to 50%. Apply. So there should be a bunch more lines, right? Yep, twice as many lines. Yeah. So you can kind of see what it's going to do. Go around and step down. That's everything I think I need to do. Yeah. Say okay to that. And you can then generate the code for it by this, right? Yeah, processor. I'm processing it in GRBL was the process. They have a ton of them that you can select. Test 1.nc, replace it. Yeah, there's all the code that you can go through. Okay. So now I can actually go into, where are you? There's the simulator. Spin this thing around a bit. Take it down here, over. Alright, let's bring it up a little bit more. So I can actually say go, and there it goes. It's taken all the material off. 10,000s at a time, going down to 100,000s. Boom. And if I import the NC code, the Groville code, right into my ultimate G-code sender, do a simulation, looks great, and I actually ran it on a piece of wood, and it came out perfect. So that's basically everything you need to know here to just get this started and to be able to do something. So there's the commands, everything. I guess stop this thing. It's got a problem stopping there. Cancel that out. So I've got a lot to go, but cool. Alright, what I'm thinking, according to the program that I just created, it's just going to be a 2-inch piece of wood. I'm going to bring a ruler over here, but I think that's probably about 2 inches. Come over there, whatever. Terrible line. I'm doing this left-handed. So, alright, so I'm going to center this guy right on this corner here and on the surface. So I want it to just come down on the surface. So you're not going to see this in the camera because I'm going to use my screen recorder. And I've got my code sitting here that I'm going to use. What is that? Oh, okay. That's what's being recorded right now. So launch my guy here. I'm plugged in and powered up on the machine. So, and I got my 2-inch square drawn. There we go. Alright. Connect to it. There we go. Unlock. Alright, so it should be live. Let me go to the left, right? Yep. Alright. So it's moving. Head's moving, or the tool's moving to the left, so I can get it close to this mark. And then a little bit further. Alright, so, whoop, wrong way. I always do that, man. I gotta put a cheat sheet here somewhere. Okay, so I'm basically on that. What I'm gonna do, since I can't use the touch probe on wood, is I'm loosening up the cutter and I'm just dropping the Z-axis down till I'm close to the bottom of travel, and now I'm just tightening up the collet. So I'm gonna say I'm at 0 right now. Right, yeah, hopefully the tool's on 0 or close enough. So 0 everybody out, I'm all zeroed here, and just take this up for fun. Open up my code, where are you? There it is. Boom. Test code, visualizer. So it's looking good. Tools up, shown up high, it's going to start here. Actually, it's going to drop down to the start point, come over and start doing all of this machining. So here goes nothing, right? I'm zeroed out. Yeah, it says I'm 270,000 up. So I guess I'll turn the camera on and switch it to that. I actually just dug in for the first one here. That seems like that's pretty deep. I'm gonna watch my finger. That's 10 thousandths? Could be, I don't know. Yeah, if this is the center, I'm pretty far off. Probably gonna come close to the edge of the board. Interesting to watch it. I'm gonna have to bring the vacuum over here to kind of clean this up. Where's the vacuum? Later I'll have to, I guess, experiment with speeds and feeds and all that junk, because this is not looking too hot. Well, it's cleaning it up, I don't know. Oh, because that was the original cut, so now it's getting rid of that plunge edge that was ugly. Next, I'll probably try doing some engraving. Do what everybody says, make it say subscribe. Oh, just went down another. 10 thousandths, huh? Alright, well, I guess I'll just show the final thing. So far, so good. It does a really nice job of cleaning the bottom up. It's just these edges that are kind of a mess. So, be interesting to try this with a different kind of wood. But I'm getting pretty thrilled here. Kind of see some of the cleanup that this thing's doing. And with the bottom here, I think this is the last cut. I can't tell by the simulator where it is. Too many lines. But pretty awesome so far. Looking at the simulation, zooming in, looks like it's on the last cut. It's finishing the very bottom up. Come in here with a vacuum cleaner a bit. Cleaning the last bit up, man. Nope, I guess there's another cut. There it is, took forever, but wow, it's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. So now I guess the fun begins, playing around with speeds and feeds and 100 thousandths deep. I gotta measure all this and make sure what it is, but so when did I get this thing? Go and check my Amazon order here. I want, where are you? Amazon orders, and it was, where? Scroll down, there it is. Delivered September 6th. So 2.5 weeks to get to this point. Fun begins, guys. I hope you enjoyed.